is back, baby.
This BruCast episode is brought to you by the BruCast Store. Explore a store filled with awesome goodies from hoodies to t-shirts to mugs. We've got you covered. Stay in style with BruCast. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Visit now bru-cast.com/store. Link below. Alright, welcome back to another BruCast episode. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rank the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast is recommended to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. BruCast also on Instagram, X, and TikTok, where we upload shorts with the highlights of the show. So follow now, BruCast on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Links on the description below. Our guest today is Birgit Livesey. How are you doing, Birgit?
Hello, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being a part of BruCast. So before anything, who is Birgit? I'd like to ask you that. If you could introduce yourself.
Sure. Who am I? That's a good question. I think we all figured it out, or still trying to figure it out until the day we die. But where I'm at now is I'm an introvert. I'm a music lover. I'm a podcaster. And I'm just trying to find my way in life, really. That's, in a nutshell, who I am.
That's a very good explanation. Yeah, I had a guest the other day on the podcast, and I asked the same thing. Like, could you talk about yourself? Like, I'm still discovering myself. This is a question that I'll never be able to answer to the day we die, because we keep changing, right? And so, good answer. Thank you. What I thought was very attractive about your profile is that you're all about music and how music helped you, especially come out of introversion. Am I right?
Not quite.
Not quite. Okay.
It's not coming out of introversion. It's it helped me understand who I was and who I am, and it's a tool I'm using in my life to help me, especially with my emotions. So introversion is a part of that journey, and music has helped me a lot, figuring out what introversion is and how that applies to me personally, because it obviously is a little bit different for other introverts. And it's also, just a way of life for me. I'm not a musician. I'm a music lover. I'm a music listener. So I'm from the other end of it. But I use it as a tool, especially to understand myself, my emotions, and my world that I live in.
All right. So you are an introvert. That's not something that we're trying out. So you are an introvert, but music helps you process your emotions and in introversion. Did I understood it correctly?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, introversion, oh God, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I mean, music for me, and that's sort of with my background, how music helped me find my way to introversion. If I may go there, so that might then help understand the introversion part a little bit better as well. But in the olden days, when I grew up, and that's quite far back, the term introversion wasn't known. It didn't exist.
Really?
So no, it's not a very, very old thing. It's fairly recent. And back then, if you weren't like extroverts who are out there and energy and this and that, I kind of felt weird, right? I didn't understand why I wasn't like anybody else, sort of outgoing, social, big social circle, always out and about, energy through the roof. And I felt quite lonely. And I was on my own a hell of a lot as well. And music was always there for me. It helped me when I felt lonely, when I felt angry, any emotion that was going on. So it was like my best friend. And that's to this day, it's the same thing. But finding out about introversion, to come back to that, for me now at this point in time, it really is an explanation how I manage my energy. So it's different to extroverts. So I don't know if you want to go there or not.
That's so interesting. Yeah, as far as I understand, the difference is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is introverts they how to say that, replenish. I don't think that's a word
Yep.
in English. That's a word. Okay, replenish
Yes.
their
Yeah. Yeah.
energy when they're by themselves, or and extroverts, it's the opposite. When they're surrounded by people, that's when they feel, oh, finally I'm alive again. I have my energy back. Is that the case?
Yeah. That's a really simple explanation, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a really easy way to sort of, and there's obviously different shades of extroverts and introverts. So, but yeah, in a nutshell, that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
And where does music comes in your process? So whenever you are by yourself, so replenishing your energy, then you add music on top.
That's definitely one aspect of it. Yes. So music for me is, it helps me get into my own world. Music understands me, and this probably sounds a little bit woo woo for anyone out there, but also it's kind of a two-way street. So I use music for myself, but music also kind of talks to me. I know that's sounds a bit strange, but I do get like these downloads of messages through music at certain points in time, and I have to listen to that. And then there's like either a message in it, like stop what you're doing, listen to those lyrics. They mean something for what you're going through. Or there's a certain sound that kind of reflects what I'm feeling, and it makes me stop in my tracks. And I go, okay, I've got to process that. I've got to sit with that because it's important. So it's like a friendship in a way that I've developed with music over time. And especially as an introvert, when it's a loud world, it's an extroverted world generally. Having someone like that next to you is, oh God, it's a lifesaver.
Oh, I think we're having connectivity issues. Can you hear me?
Oh dear.
Oh,
I can hear you fine. Yeah. I'll be
I
back.
think we're back. All right.
Excellent.
Um,
Where did I drop out?
so what kind of music do you? So you get messages. It's like
Mhm.
it's a way. Okay, but what kind of music do you listen to? Is there anything specific?
No, I mean, I go through phases, I guess, but I'm very open-minded. Um, I like my rock, my pop, my heavy metal. I like R&B. I like hip hop. Even some jazz. It's really broad. Thanks to my mom, she kind of brought me up that way, saying be a bit open-minded and try to listen to everything you can. So yeah, I go through phases where I might prefer just some piano music, or then I go back to my 80s and 90s R&B hip hop stuff. So yeah, I'm really really broad. I can't pinpoint and say this is my favorite genre. I don't have one.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks, mom. That's great. So going back to the messages.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a couple of people I saw online that they happen to get messages as well. For example, in different ways when they are meditating, when they're writing. I think there was a famous guy called Chico Xavier. I'm not sure if that's the correct name. Should like he would just write the whole day, and he also like get messages and would help him and other people. And but I never heard um, with music. That's the first time. That's very interesting. So talking about those messages, what kind of messages we're talking about? So it's also things that help you in your life. I would assume so.
Definitely, yes. As I said, it comes in different forms. Sometimes it feels like I'm drawn to certain lyrics of a song. So when I read them, I go, oh, okay, that applies to me right now, with what I'm going through, or maybe something I have to pay attention to. Sometimes it's just the whole song, the music itself conveys an emotion, and then I have to reflect on that and say, well, why am I being drawn to this? What's the message behind it? And sometimes I can just walk through a supermarket in an aisle and this song comes out, and I'm like, really? Now? I've not heard that song in like 20 years. And all of a sudden it plays, and it is exactly matching kind of what I'm thinking at that moment. And it's just crazy. It
Could
just blows my mind
could
how accurate this can be sometimes.
could you give an example more specifically?
Okay. Um, Let me think. Just about a year ago, I've entered this really bad phase in my life where I was suffering, I would say, depression. Seriously dark places, really dark. Never been there before. Really scary. Didn't know what to do with myself. Like, it was really scary. I felt like I had demons sitting on my shoulders, talking to me, all these negative and really heavy stuff. And then a band I really appreciate now, BTS. They're a South Korean band. One of the members released his solo album, and the first song that he released was exactly at that point when I was going through this dark time. And that song talks about basically going through a dark time, discovering yourself. Who are you? The process of going through this darkness, this fog, and at the end you still come out and you'll be fine, you'll be alive. So basically that was the overall message. And it literally happened in that phase when I was really, really down and out. And that's the first song that kind of was thrown in my face. And it's like an anthem for me now. It really, when I hear it, I get goosebumps, and it just makes me strong and hopeful. So this is an example that you wanted. So
That's amazing.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And as far as I know, BTS is huge, right? I never listened to them, but I know like they're yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you.
Yeah. So they're huge, and like there's lots of fans. I never heard them, but K-pop is amazing. There's I'm not sure if you're familiar with League of Legends. They released a K-pop song a couple of years ago, and it's the only one I know, and I love it. But
I'm sure you know Gangnam Style from Psy. Everyone does.
oh, is it K-pop?
That's
Oh my
K-pop.
god,
Yes.
I love.
And trust me, I'm totally new to this whole K-pop thing. I mean, it's kind of weird for me because BTS been going for like over 10 years. And I've only heard of them last year. So there you go. Sometimes you're just in your own little bubble, and that's totally okay. But yeah,
Yeah,
just on
but
a side note.
that's amazing that you were able to find help and hope through the music. I really have like a favorite artist. I'm not sure if you can see here on my wall. It's Chris Stapleton, like a country artist, and
Oh, nice.
he for many years he was a songwriter, and he wrote like several hits for Adele, for many, I think Luke Bryan, a lot of famous artists. So, but she was just a songwriter, right? And I think at some point in his career was like, okay, I'm a songwriter, but I also quite know how to play the guitar. He were in a couple of country bluegrass bands for many years. Was like, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna go solo, and turns out he's considered nowadays the best country singer songwriter in the world right now, and every single year he wins the country award of best male singer of the year, and it's been like that for many successive years. Anyway, what I'm saying is like the guy know what he's doing. He's great, and I saw I watched him on Joe Rogan, right? He was in an episode in Joe Rogan, and he said very clearly like the song and the message, they need to be there, like both of them. There's no separation, right? If you don't write a song that doesn't reflect to people somehow, if they don't identify their life somehow, like it's useless. It could have a cool tune, right? Could be fun to whistle at it, but if it doesn't touch people, like if the lyrics don't connect to people in any way, it's useless. So I can understand how powerful that is, and like I mean your well, I'm explaining here all of this, but I just realized like isn't K-pop in like in Korean?
Yes, it is.
So forget everything that I just said.
No. Hang on a sec. Let me just pop in there. No, I mean, fair enough. It's in Korean, and that's on a side note again. Before I even discovered this whole K-pop thing, I started watching like Korean movies because they're really good, and I've always liked the language. It's just the sound of it that I really like. So again, music, right? But yeah, so but coming back to the song lyrics, you can translate them. That's how I've learned English. I sat there when I was a teenager listening to some of my favorite bands in English with a German English dictionary, and I've translated the song lyrics. That's for me, that's not a biggie. So you can translate the lyrics, and the lyrics still have huge meaning on top of the good music. So I think language shouldn't be a barrier to receive the message.
Okay, but
You can translate.
do you understand anything? Like now that you really like K-pop, do you understand like a couple of things?
Yeah, I understand a few things. Obviously, not everything. But the funny thing is, you always learn like the love language and the swear words first.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So it's funny. Yeah, no, I understand a few words and everything, but I've not really studied it. I want to, but I've not got there yet.
Got it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
just like even though you couldn't understand the lyrics fully, like the music helped you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's amazing because um one thing I know for sure, like there's a thing called uh binaural beats. Have you heard about it?
Mm.
So I know some people also use for meditation and well, instead of doing a bad job explaining it, let me read the description here. So binaural beats are not a sound but an auditory phenomenon that occurs when listening to two different frequencies at once. When binaural beats are sustained for a length of time, they can alter your brainwave activity. Evidence of their effectiveness to promote relaxation and improve sleep is limited and results vary. Okay, but it can help. And what are binaural beats like? They're kind of like a song, right? They're like this auditory experience. So, how far are binaural beats from for example, K-pop songs? I would say not like it's open for interpretation, right? Like what you want to take out of the music. But what I'm saying is, I think no matter the kind of vibration or auditory experience, there's something happening in the brain help us
Mhm,
to process emotions and I
mhm.
mean, but if you're attuned to it, right, if you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe so. I mean, there's the popularity of frequencies in general has become obviously more and more, and I'm not sure. I mean, there's been research done as far as I'm aware, but it's I think it's an individual thing. So there are like these frequencies you can use if you have like inflammation in your body to help you reduce that, or you know, for all sorts. And I mean, you can even go on YouTube and Google them, and there's something for everybody, I guess. As I said, I'm not sure how effective they are, and it obviously comes down to the individual as well. But I do believe that there's more to sound and frequencies and vibration than we know. And I'm glad people are interested to do the research and then do the scientific bit to actually prove that it can help us. What we do know is that music affects basically all parts of the brain.
All parts of the brain.
Basically, all parts. It involves everything. It involves, um, the front, the back, everything. So it's one of the only things that can bypass and just go straight in and say, "Hello, I'm here. Now let's take over." So that's quite incredible. So why do you think music therapy, for example, is becoming much more accepted and used in a wider health setting? Because it can help. It can support treatment of injuries, disabilities, whatever else. So it's incredible, and we just don't know enough about it. So, hands up to everyone who does the research on it.
Yeah, that's
It's
really
amazing.
that's really amazing. That's really
Mm.
incredible. I never done music therapy. Do you know how it works? Like, do they put like bird sounds and stuff like that for you to listen to?
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm
Maybe,
sorry.
I mean, no, no, it's okay. No, look, I mean, becoming a music therapist is not an easy feat because you do have to study, and it's not like just a 2-year course. From what I understand, you do have to do like proper, not doctors, but it goes along the same lines. So you have to study obviously the body and the brain and everything on top of the music stuff. But they, from what I understand, is they do work hand in hand with doctors and specialists, and they actually develop their own treatment plans, depending on what they need to treat. So, like if someone has to learn to speak again, they can probably come in and develop a treatment plan by using maybe a guitar or any other instrument and help you with gaining back your ability to speak. Or, if you have to, they can help with pain management apparently as well. So it's a huge amount of things they can do to help you get better, or help you manage if whatever you're having. Again, very estimated and not talked about enough, because what they do is incredible. So yeah.
Wow. So
Mm.
you can help people learn how to speak again or improve their speech through music. That's amazing.
Well, think of it that way. What we now know is, for example, with Alzheimer's and dementia. And I don't know if you ever seen this video um, of this older lady. I think she's in a chair or a wheelchair, and I don't know how old she is, but she's in her 80s at least. And I think she's suffering from some form of dementia or Alzheimer's, and she kind of lost her ability. She's just sitting there. She used to be a ballerina. They put on the song she used to dance to, and this lady who just sat there like, really, I'm not, not there. I'm losing my faculties. Like, she started to do all the dance moves. She remembered, and that's through the music she was hearing. So that connection then, from if you've lost your speech somehow, that music can help you regain that. It's not far-fetched, is it, if you think about it?
Yeah, I guess not. So this lady, she could. So she had Alzheimer's, she had dementia, but
Dementia, Alzheimer's, I don't know, there's a difference between the two as well.
all right, but
But she was,
she had no movement
well,
impairments, right?
no, no, it
Okay.
was her brain that was letting her down.
All right. Yeah. So music, maybe I don't know the story very well. Maybe she was by listening to the song, she remembered like a time in her past that she heard that song before. That could be the case. Do you think?
Well, if you look at, it's because it's a memory
It's a memory. Yeah.
that she was able to go and get from her brain. But if you would have told her that, I assume, said, look, you've been a ballerina, you were dancing to this song, she probably would have looked at you going completely blank, like, I have no idea what you're going on about. But because they put that song on, she heard the song, music went into her brain, bypassed whatever it needs to bypass, and went straight to that memory. She was able to do at least the hand movements of the ballerina to that particular song.
That's crazy. That's so somehow the music was stored somewhere deep in her brain, and playing the music again like kind of make her retrieve the movements from that era back. That's wow. Do you,
Go and try to find it. That's one of the most impressive videos I saw to really showcase that. I can't remember what it was called, but
ballerina sound
I
recovery? I would try to look for it. So ballerina sounds recover for ballet dancers
think
musical.
she was an older lady,
Okay.
um, and I've seen this a few years ago, but I'm not sure what the title of it is.
Well, let's give it a try. Old lady ballerina. Uh oh.
Dementia. There you are. You just had it.
Oh, oh,
Further down.
ballerina
Go back a bit.
dementia. One second.
There.
Form a
Yeah,
ballerina
that's
with.
her.
Okay, okay. So let's
Yeah.
look at it. Oh, I don't think I can play that sound. Otherwise, we're gonna get a
No.
copyright strike.
But you can see she's got the headphones on, so they're obviously playing the sound for her. And you can see she starts to move with the music, and that's just amazing.
Wow.
Right?
She what? She's dancing like a ballerina.
There you go. Swan Lake.
Wow, that's her from. Wow.
I don't know if that's her, but that's obviously the movement that even like the head goes in the right direction.
So for those just listening to the podcast, we're
Mhm.
watching this video called "Former Ballerina of Alzheimer's Performs Swan Lake Dance," and it's from a YouTube channel called the Alzheimer's Research Association. And she's just like in a wheelchair. You could see like she was not moving at all, and all suddenly
Mhm.
they put the music on the Swan Lake Dance song, and she's just phenomenal, just like moving like back in the days.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing. I mean, with someone like Alzheimer's doing that, absolutely phenomenal. It's beautiful. I mean, just the way she moves her hands as well, like even the pointing and everything. It's
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
That
it's just incredible to watch. So anyone, go and watch it if you can. If you're not doing it, read us right now.
Yeah, they wrote super emotional. I got a little bit emotional.
Yeah. It is. It's beautiful, and that's the power of music. Obviously on a much bigger scale. So it's yeah, amazing.
um, a couple of years ago, I decided that I needed a hobby, right? Um,
Okay.
where he's going with that?
You poor thing didn't have a hobby until then. Okay.
um, because I was a workaholic. I was literally like a workaholic for real. For real,
Okay.
I had like a burnout. I remember. I'm not sure if I shared that story on the podcast before, but once I was like 4 a.m. I was at the office, and the cleaning guy just opened the office. They were like, "Bro, what you're doing?" I was like, I need to work." Anyway, I was like in a bad place in my life, just working a lot, and so I had a burnout, and was like, "Okay, I need a hobby. Otherwise, I cannot just work all the time. That's unhealthy." And so the first hobby that came to my mind was like, I just gonna go home and spend more time from the computer developing more games, because that's what I was doing at the time, developing games. And I was like, "Ugh, okay, I need to try, because then I'm not working for the company, I'm working for myself. It's gonna be amazing." No, I got home, and I was just sitting in front of the computer for more and more. I was like, this is not working. I was just going crazy again. And all suddenly, I just remembered when I was like a teenager, my mom gave me a guitar for my when I turned 15, and I never quite played. It was like, yeah, it's hard. It hurt my fingers. Blah blah blah. It was like, I'm not 15 anymore. I was like 28 at the time. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a new guitar, and I'm gonna give it a try. Birgit, it changed my life. It was exactly what was missing. I'm not sure if it was just not sitting in front of the computer doing something else. No, I'm sure it was the music. It was the music, because when you're playing, you are not only listening to the music, but I think it comes back to what you said a little bit. It takes your whole brain. You're like, when I'm playing, I I just forgot about everything, everyone. I'm just one with the music, and I'm just trying to get better at the. I'm not like a pro, but I have fun learning how to do it, and just devoting my time to music. And that's something that I never imagined before. It really changed my life for real. It's I don't want to say it's therapy, but it really helps like to calm me down, and helps in a lot of ways. Yeah.
It's good for your overall well-being. It's just good for your well-being, for your overall, your soul, your body, your spirit, your mind, everything. And especially in today's world, I think that's probably one thing we really all need. Something that just really helps us overall. So I'm glad you picked up the guitar. Mine's still in the wardrobe, so I need to pick mine up again at some point and try to play.
Give it a try. So you have a guitar at home. That's a start.
I do, yeah. I took lessons years ago, and I think I was able to play one. This is a chord. God, it's so long. One chord of "Smoke on the Water," and that's about it. That's it. No, not went any further, which is a shame. But yeah, it's there, and I look at it and I go, I really need to start learning to play again. So yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Give it a try, Birgit. Like, do you have musicians in your family? Because that's also like helps a little. Like,
No, no,
oh,
not musicians, but I remember my grandma. God, my grandma. Just thinking back makes me laugh. She used to be in like a choir
all right.
when she was younger. Up until like when she was a pensioner, she used to go. She had like a singing group. She went acting. She did all sorts of things, but not playing an instrument as such. No, but I guess singing is playing your own instruments that you have in yourself. So
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
and it's hard because besides the whole music aspect that we talked about it, there's also the skill aspect. What many might consider addictive because you can always get better, a little bit better every time that you practice.
Mm,
So yeah, it was really
yeah,
life changing. I really recommend.
yeah. I've spoke to one of my guests on my own podcast, who is actually a music teacher, and his opinion is that anyone can play music. It just depends on how you learn. You have to figure out how you learn best, and then you can play music. So there's no one out there that can't play an instrument, which I find encouraging, because some people say, oh, I just can't play music, I'm not talented enough, I just don't have what it takes. Well, he's basically has the opinion, no, you can, you just need to find a way to make it easy for yourself.
What do you
So
mean by
yeah.
that? Make it easy for yourself? What that means?
Well, there's obviously everyone learns differently, so you probably got to figure out, how do I learn best, what works for me, because the traditional way of learning doesn't work for everybody. We know that now, we're just going, traditional school system. Probably the same for music. You got to figure out, how do you learn best. Are you a visual learner? Are you like, ears? But like, it's that's from what I understand, that's kind of the way he's approaching it, like each as an individual, and then he has his own formula that he puts on top. But it's, I find it encouraging that someone says you can actually play an instrument if you want, and you just got to find a way that makes it easier for you to do that.
Got it. That's amazing. What do you remember his name?
Dan Spencer.
Dan Spencer. Thank you very much, Dan Spencer. I couldn't,
Yeah.
man, that's amazing because I couldn't agree more with him. Like, people learn in different ways, right?
Hmm.
You cannot expect, for example, all kids to sit in class all day and learn by reading a book. That's something that I stated many times. I was not a kid that learned that way. I needed like some stimulation, something engaging, something more interesting to get me going. So, Dan Spencer, you're the man.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's so passionate about it. So if anyone go and check him out, he's really worth checking out. And on a side note, talking about learning, I've just discovered recently that, and I know there's more and more people finding out they got like ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there is music out there that is specifically for that brain type. It can help you concentrate.
No
I
way.
did not know that.
What?
I did not know that. Yeah. So there's always new things coming out. And I just sent it to my friend, who, I think it's lo-fi music. That's it.
Lo-fi music. Okay, I was about
Yeah,
to search.
apparently
I was about to search for ADHD music.
it's not wrong. But I think there's a certain type of lo-fi music for ADHD. And I sent it to my friend and I said, you always got problems concentrating when you study. Why don't you try that? And she's like, oh my God, thank you.
All right, so ADHD. So I'm looking on YouTube right now. There's ADHD relief music, study
Mm,
music for better concentration and focus.
mm,
Oh wow.
there you go. Yeah, we're just looking up all the different types of ADHD music that's available on YouTube.
Oh, there's different types of ADHD music. Okay.
Well, lo-fi apparently, and I've just started reading up on that myself, but apparently lo-fi is pretty good for that. Um, so yeah, interesting stuff that comes out with music and sound and vibration. So,
Yeah.
hmm.
I don't know much about ADHD music. That's very interesting. The first time I hear about it, but it makes totally sense because I know, for example, um, when I'm in a certain mood, or for okay, I'm gonna give you the example. When I need to clean the house, when it's time, I've been like procrastinating the whole week.
Doesn't who doesn't? Not the
And it's time to do the laundry, it's time to clean the dishes. I just put either ACDC or Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters, like those are the two bands that I just put it on maximum volume and it just gets me going in a way like I cannot even tell. It's amazing. So
Yep.
yeah, I can understand why ADHD music makes sense. Like it's just a different type of sound wave that gets their brain going. Like
Yeah, and that goes back to like different frequencies, different vibrations. You just got to figure out what works best for you. Um, I don't know if you know. There's like I discovered that it was about 2 years ago through another podcast guest of mine. She was talking about this deep work music that a lot of programmers and coders use to do their work, and I'm like, what is deep work music? So again, YouTube, here I come. And literally, there are playlists of deep work music that have a certain sort of, to me, it sounds like underground music. It's really sort of, I feel like I'm a coder coding away in the darkness with a hoodie on my top. But honestly, when I put that on, I can work away for an hour or two and I'm literally focused in. It's something in the way they make the music that just hits that part of your brain and you're just off. So it's literally, it comes down to figuring out kind of not where you're struggling, but where you feel like you need a bit of a hand, and then see if there's a sound or a frequency for it. And I would assume there will be.
I think Nikola Tesla said that if you want to understand the universe, you need to think in terms of sound and vibration. Have you heard this quote?
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
misquote. Let me make sure. Nikola Tesla. I lost your camera. 1 second. Sorry, everyone. That's what happens when you're doing a live podcast. All right, so we're back. What are we talking about?
The quote about Nikola Tesla's energy, frequency, and vibration.
Yes, yes. How wrong, how right this guy was. It's amazing. I mean, I'm not saying that the pyramids were a power plant because that's that's the next step that people take whenever they hear this quote. But he was right in many ways.
Well, you never know. I mean, look at the shape of a pyramid. It might be some form of energy. I don't know if you want to go down spirituality and woo woo kind of scenario. We
Uh,
don't know, do we?
we don't. We don't. I'm not denying either confirming. So, what do you know, Birgit? Tell us.
I don't know anything. I just watch too many of those shows who are going about aliens and stuff.
Are you an Ancient Aliens fan?
Sorry, what?
Do you know Ancient Aliens from History
Oh
Channel?
God, I used to watch that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love
Interesting
it.
stuff. Interesting stuff. Always be open minded, I say.
Yeah, I think the first season especially was very good because they're like touching like credible topics, like credible things, like might have the aliens interfered in human evolution in the past, like that's possible, who knows. That was like the first
I don't know.
season was all about, but then they reached like
Mm-hmm.
season 20, 25. Was Albert Einstein contacted by an alien or an alien itself? The believers of the ancient
Oh.
alien, I don't know, yeah. And then Hitler was an alien, and then yeah.
Yeah, it gets a bit too crazy. I know. It's a shame because we don't know. Are we the only ones in the universe? We could do a whole nother show about it. Anyway, yeah.
I don't think we are. Like, look at the size. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson said if you put like a grain of sand, like no, sorry, I'm misquoting him. If you put your thumb and look at the
Mhm.
sky and the size of your thumb, like just at this size, this space, there's more galaxies than grains of sand that exist on planet Earth. Like it's
Yeah.
such a high number. It's impossible for the human mind to comprehend. So just to say, there's no one there, it's impossible. Come on.
Yeah. I cannot imagine we're the only ones. Simple as that. We're too small in a too big of a thing. So yeah, it's for me it's hard to imagine we're In what shape or form that is, who knows? Debatable. We don't know. But yeah, I can't imagine us being the only ones out there. So yeah. Maybe that's we should send a bit of music out there and see who comes back. Maybe we get a new rock and roll band playing on Mars or something. Who knows?
That would be amazing. I mean, if what Tesla said, like energy, bring it back. Oh, of course they close it. So energy, vibration, and sound. I think that's what he said. Is like what
Mm-hmm.
forms the universe. I think it's safe to assume that if there are aliens out there, they also have some type of music, right?
I always think, oh God, who was it? I think the universe has a sound. It's just not a sound that we kind of think is a sound. I wish I could talk to like astronauts because they always said it. Obviously, it's quiet. I think out there, but I'm sure there's some form of vibration going on. So there will be sound in some shape or form, and I'm sure the aliens, whoever they are, will use it either to travel, to have parties, to have wellness retreats. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So going back to
I don't know.
music, um,
Yes, let's go back to that.
let's go back to music. I want to talk
Yeah.
about movies as well. Uh,
Oh, movies.
yes, movies. So when I look back at all of my favorite movies, like they all have great soundtracks. Like it's in this like they go one and one, they go together. There's impossible for me to have a good movie or have a good video game. I play a lot of video games without a good soundtrack. They just add so much to the experience.
Mm,
And
yeah.
it's crazy that some directors just disregard it completely. Like the movie's like a second thought, you know? I was like, no, it's completely part of the experience. Would you agree? I assume so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, anyone who doesn't just watch like a scary movie and just put mute on. Are you scared? Not really.
yeah, that's true.
No, not necessarily. You know, put the music on and you're under the bed or behind the couch. So yeah, I agree with you. Just from that perspective. But yeah, if you when you said movies, my thought went to Footloose and Dirty Dancing.
Oh, great movies, good picks. Yeah, I love the music's also like integral part of those movies.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. So,
Footloose. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh God, all the songs from Footloose. I could play them up and down. They're amazing.
Have you
They're amazing.
watched The Martian?
I might have years ago. I might have.
It's this one
Um
with I think Matt Damon, and he's lost, basically stuck in Mars, on Mars.
Oh, that one. Sorry, I was thinking about a completely different movie then. Sorry. Yes, yes, I have. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you remember. Like the movie, it kind of get depressing at some point because like he's stuck there, he might die there. But in the plot, I think he finds like the old music collection from one of the astronauts that left the planet,
Hmm.
and those are all 80s disco music, and he just starts playing all the time. It just gives a completely vibe
Hmm.
to the movie. At the beginning,
Yeah.
like, oh, you're gonna die there. It's depressing. He's trying to survive. No, I was just like vibing the whole movie. Yeah, he gonna get out of the music, and they start playing ABBA. I was like, yeah, there, here we go. Here's the dancing queen.
Oh, music is just, it can make or break a movie, I think.
Have you
But
watched
yeah,
Lord of the Rings?
I'm one of the few people who has never watched Lord of the Rings.
It's like, okay, I'm out of words. Birgit. So
It's just seeing a movie that's like 3 hours or something, that's just a killer for me. I struggle with that.
I can
So,
get
but I
it.
know I've been recommended I should watch it, so I will do one day. Maybe when I'm an old pension, I've got nothing else to do.
I get it. It can get quite long. I understand why some
Mm.
people don't watch it, but it's one of those movies like the music is just out of this world. Like it's a similar akin to like a horror movie. If you take out of the sound Like it
Mm-hmm.
completely takes out of the mo. It's amazing. It's amazing. The song from Lord of the Rings. To this day, sometimes while I'm working, I just put the Lord of the Rings soundtrack in the background, and it just makes my workday 10 times better.
There you go. Now I've got to
Yeah.
put it on my movie to watch list, especially in winter when it's cold. I think that could work.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, I recommend. I recommend.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we sort of talk about all this, music has such a great impact and everything, and I kind of that's probably what attracted me to music as well, and like what you're doing here with your podcast. I do something similar on mine, but it's more music specific. Um, because I just feel like what we talk about here, there's so much more to talk about on an individual level, and each person that I know has definitely at least one, if not 10 or 20 songs that's impacted them in their life. So anyone that says they don't, I think they might have to go and sit down and think about it, because they will. They will have.
Oh yeah, for sure. With Steve Jobs, when Steve Jobs went back to Apple, he found the company in a mess. They were like producing so many different products, and he was like, "No, we need to clean the house and come out with a banger. Develop like a product that will sell the hell out of it, and it's gonna take Apple out of the dirt." And his solution was the music player. He came up with the iPod, and his argument was like, well, everyone loves music, period, and that's it. That's what motivated him to come with the iPod. I think there was also a lot of bad MP3 players out there, but his argument while presenting the product and the official keynote was like, everyone loves music, period, and I think that's a beautiful argument. So
Absolutely.
Birgit, you mentioned your podcast. You have a podcast. How it's called, and what it is about.
The podcast called Living on the B Side, and there's two meanings to why I've picked this name. One, obviously, the B side of a record, a vinyl. And why that appealed to me is because, and I touched on that earlier on when we started chatting, when I grew up, I felt like an outsider. I felt weird, and I always felt like I'm living on the B side of life, like in the shadows. So that appealed to me. And then obviously, B, my friends call me B. So it's kind of sharing my life on the B side. But it's all from a music angle. So I share stories around music, songs that have impacted me, that have made me think, but I also have other people who share their incredible personal stories. So yeah, it's I enjoy it. It's amazing and incredible what I learn every time I talk to someone. Probably like what you do here on yours.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you always have a guest on.
Hmm.
All right.
Not all the time. I have solo episodes as well, so I try to mix it up a bit and share more my own personal journey as well. But I like to have also other people on, because I do believe that that can also showcase the power of music so much. And the
Mm,
stories I've heard, mind blowing. So
can,
yeah,
can
it's
you
a
share?
mix.
Can you share one with us?
I can share a few. I've had one of my business mentors on, and through us chatting about this, she actually found her song that is her theme song, her anthem for her business now. It represents everything that she wants to achieve herself in life. And it's like she plays it every time she has a networking event. She plays that song first up. So that's incredible that she found that song that helps her with her mission and vision in life. I've had a lady on who, through one song, she was going through a tough time. Um, she heard this one song, and in an instant, she knew she had to change her first name. And she changed her first name
Because of the song.
because of the song. It literally hit her, and it made her realize so many things that she needed to realize. And one of them was, I hate my name. I'm changing my name. So that's an incredible. That's in like really short. I've had a guest on who male who was suffering from severe depression, suicidal, admitted himself to hospital and clinics and whatever. And there's one song that helped him in his healing process. Obviously, not alone, it's combined with other things, but that was one song he listened over and over when he went for a walk to help him with out of his depression.
Which song?
Um, oh my God, it's a Christian band, and I can't remember the name of them, to be honest. I would have to look it up. But yeah, it was a Christian band, and apparently that just literally pulled him out and helped him when when he was out walking. Um, and I've had a lady on who she was herself very ill when she was growing up, tumors, operations, whatever else, and now she's working with teenagers to help them write songs, to process their emotions, and help them become adults. So there's, you know, these are just a few examples of how people either use it for themselves or how to help others just by using music. And I should actually cross out the word just. It's not just music.
Oh no. I mean, if you change your name because of song, it's not just music. It's something more. And
Absolutely.
for how long have you been doing your podcast?
I'm in my fourth year now.
For fear.
In my fourth year. Yeah.
That's amazing. So we're gonna make sure to leave the link on the description below. Um, while you're explaining the name of your podcast and also mentioning this person who changed their name because of a song, I remembered Elton John. Like, as far as I know, Elton John is not his real name. I mean, I think there's many artists who don't use their real names when they're performing. Like, it's such like a spiritual thing. That's my interpretation of the whole thing. Such like a transcendental and out of body experience that some people just come up with different names when they're performing, right? Maybe I don't know. I just thought it would be interesting to mention that.
I was just thinking about it's I think what they call is like an alter ego.
Alter ego. Okay.
Yeah, because I know Beyonce has one, and her alter ego that she uses on stage is Sasha Fierce.
Ooh.
So she's developed this other, I wouldn't say identity, but like an other her that helps her when she's on stage to do what she needs to do. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's a very reserved kind of musicians do that because a lot of them probably are introverts. So going on stage might be not something they usually do. So having that alter ego helps them step into that zone and do what they do.
I
So
think,
music definitely helps.
yeah, for sure. I'm sure there's, like you mentioned, altered ego, but I'm also sure there's a lot of marketing involved, you know? The producers must say, like, if you just call yourself Lady Gaga, that would be so much more mysterious and sell so much more album, you know? I'm sure there's a marketing aspect to it as well.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm sort of intrigued by that concept because it can be helpful, um, especially if you're like an introvert and you have troubles like going on camera or doing speaking gigs or anything. If you have some kind of other, I wouldn't say identity, but something that you can pretend to be for 30 minutes that helps you step into that role, why not? There's nothing wrong with that, you know?
All right. Um, I think Jack Black does the same. He
Oh,
was,
really?
yeah, he was asked once, how comes, like, every time he's on camera, he's just like giving 100, like not even 100, 1000% of him. Like he's just dancing and sweating and screaming. And like, I think someone asked him, like, how can you, like, he's old, like, he's not old, but he's like on the older side, right? He's getting there.
Mhm.
And how can you do that? Like, that's just, there's so much energy into it. It's like, bro, no, like the rest of the day, I'm super chill as a capybara, you know. I'm just I just save all that energy to put a show when the cameras are on. That's all, you know. And
Mm.
so he's smart. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it's even another. It's a persona, or he's acting, but
Mhm.
he saves up. His energy. And it's something he plans just to use in a part of the day. So
So he's very aware of his energy.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because I did see him live once when he supported the Foo Fighters, and he was a maniac.
Did you watch? So what? When was that?
Oh my God, that was a few years ago. Well, a few years ago. When was that? The Foo Fighters, oh God, they've been here so many times in Australia, but it wasn't one of their tours. They were supporting act, like special guest. Um, Probably about, oh God, I don't know, 6 years or so ago, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember which tour it was, but yeah, they were crazy. I just stood there. I'm like, is that the actor that I know from his movies? And I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know his music to start off with. So I was like, chat. What? It was interesting. It was interesting. Not my cup of tea, but
Yeah,
it was all right.
oh man, I'm a big fan. I think so. His band's called Tenacious D, right?
That's
And
right.
yeah,
Thank you.
they were performing here in August last year in Germany. I was so pissed that I couldn't go. Oh damn, I love the guy. He's amazing.
Hmm.
Um, so Beers, you have a podcast, Living on the B side. You also have a YouTube channel. How is this one called and what it is about? Is somehow related to the podcast?
It's the same.
Oh, it's the
It's
same. Okay.
um it's one and the same, yeah. I've got a YouTube channel and then obviously the podcast, the audio gets fed to the usual channels. But yeah, I'm on YouTube with Living on the B side. So you can find me there for sure.
All right. So we're also gonna make sure to leave the link in the description below. Um, is there any final remarks? Anything else that you'd like to say?
Yes. And I'm gonna bang on about this until I can't speak anymore. I think we all should pay more attention to what we're listening to and why we're listening to it. Because a lot of times we just have the radio on and we don't even know why we're listening to the radio or what music is playing. So I really feel that we all need to pay a lot more attention, become aware what you're listening to and why, because sometimes or a lot of the times that can really what's the word I'm looking for? Show you maybe a little bit more what's going on with you on an emotional level, and where you maybe have to balance it out a bit to either feel better or calm yourself down or you know do something to help your well-being. So please pay more attention, and once you start paying more attention you might get a bit more messages from music like I do.
Perfect.
So that's it.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Birgit. It was a pleasure. All right. So thank you very much, everyone. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to rank the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast will be recommended to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. Check out now the BruCast store, Explorer store filled with awesome goodies. From hoodies to t-shirts to mugs, we've got you covered. Stay in style with BruCast. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Buy now at brew-cast.store at brew-cast.com/store. I repeat, brew-cast.com/store. Links on the description below. BruCast is also on Instagram, X, and TikTok, where I upload shorts of the highlights of the show. So follow now, BruCast on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Links on the description below. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Birgit. It has been a pleasure. See you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you. See you.
All right.